Welcome to something short and sweet on the Parsha this week, Parshas Va'era. The Shloah HaKadosh points out that when the Torah gives the lineage of Moshe Rabbeinu, there's a major disparity between the presentation of Reuven Shimon and the presentation of Levi. When speaking of Reuven and Shimon, it says, Eile Roshe Beis Avosam, these are the heads of the father's houses. But when it presents Levi, it only says Eile Shemos B'nai Yisrael. No Roshe Beis Avosam, just Shemos B'nai Yisrael. Says the Shloah HaKadosh. The Torah is telling us something wonderful about the tribe of Levi. Levi was not engaged in servitude. Levi personally were not suffering, but they were. They empathized with their brothers. And therefore, when they named their children, and back in the day when we named our children, it was about the event. It was about what was going on in life. It was about what HaKadosh Baruch Hu was doing. The names they gave to the children, every single one of their children was an expression of their horror, of their empathy for their brothers. And therefore, it's Eile Shemos B'nai Levi. Look at that, the Torah says. It's Shemos B'nai Levi. We find a very similar thing by Binyamin. Binyamin and Yosef had split when they were very young. Yosef was sold down to Mitzrayim. Binyamin was very young. He barely knew him. And yet, when they met for the first time down in Mitzrayim, when Binyamin did not know who Yosef was just yet, Yosef asked Binyamin, do you have any brothers? Brothers from the same mother? She says, matter of fact, I do. He said, but boy, it's been a very long time. He's been lost. What about children? Do you have any children? He said, I have 10 children. He says, really, what are their names? Names mean a lot to us. What are their names? He started telling him the names. He says, what's the nature of these names? He says these words, these beautiful words. He says, Kulam al Shem Mochi. They're all about my brother. They all allude to my brother. V'hatsaros asher mitza'uhu. And the troubles that he must have encountered. My brother is lost. I barely know my brother, but my brother is lost. And all the names indicate various aspects of what Binyamin was thinking must be happening to Yosef over the years. What a stark contrast that is to the other brothers who could never get along with Yosef. Binyamin had a feeling for Yosef because they were from the same mother, because they were the same father. They were brothers. And because they were brothers, he empathized with him. They were inseparable, even though they were completely separated. And this was the story with Levi too. They didn't feel the whips on their back, but their brothers did. And therefore, that was most important to them. This is a natural thing. The Sfarim tell us that every Jew has this for our brothers. We could feel the pain. We could be nosei ba'ol chavero. But to really feel it, what do we need to do in order to have that empathy? So last week we talked about it. Last week we learned it in the Parsha. Vayar, Moshe Rabbeinu, he sees his brothers. And Rashi says, Nasan Einov V'libo liosmeitzer alehem. He placed his heart. He looked again. Maharal had said, this is something he had seen many times. But at one point, he was misboning. He contemplated, what are they feeling? What are they going through? And that put him in a beautiful place to be mishtatev b'tzaron shel Yisrael, to join the pain of Klal Yisrael. Ultimately, points out the Alter of Kelm, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rashi uses this almost the same lashon for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not hide his eyes, and his heart was also on Klal Yisrael. And the author says it's because of Moshe Rabbeinu, Nasan Einav Alibo, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu did no longer hid his eyes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu no longer hid his heart. To be mishtatev b'tzarim, to join in the pain of our brothers, is natural. All we need to be misboni, to contemplate the pain of another Jew. And when we do, this, so to speak, this moves HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do the same. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great Shabbos.